Hello and welcome to the last installment in our series. I'm very glad that I'm about to finish this now, and I'm also very glad actually to eat Döner this morning, because yesterday I felt so ill and I didn't eat anything for supper, so yes, I'm excited. I'm excited on multiple parts. If you've been following the videos, you know that we have a salad. We have some mayonnaise, and we have the seitan, although this is not the same seitan as the one that I made in the video, because, as you can probably see from the timeline, seitan does not survive 4 days in our fridge, it gets eaten. And this is kind of the last step that we're missing, I have some bread here. We're using flatbread. Flatbread is the most classical thing for Döner. It's also the most practical thing for Döner because it's very fluffy on the inside, so you can get some crunch into it by pressing it down really hard. It soaks up sauce really well, and also you have the option of cutting it into like different portions, right? Because it's circular. You can do eighths or quarters, or even, if you're really crazy, you can probably go for thirds of the bread to decide the size of Döner. I think the most classical way is quarters, so we're also gonna go for quarters. It's important actually to start the bread first, because it needs to go in the cold pan and also in the dry pan. No oil and also less temperature than the seitan is going to need while cooking. So we don't need that many. I have 2 slices here. I'm going to start with one. Into a dry pan. Just place the slice and put some weight on top. I'm using the salad here with some pot. It really doesn't matter. Use whatever the fuck you want. Second, this is still quite hot. Try to get it out without burning myself. This seitan. We want slices of this. Fine slices of this. I like to go like on the longest side, because that way I can get the best texture, I feel like. It's not cubed, it's sliced. This is the important part. We're emulating the way that Döner shops do this on the rotating grill. We don't have a rotating grill, so we are just slicing it really fine and then frying it on one side only. You can see what I mean by that in a second. A sharp knife is good for this, but if you remember to slice rather than push through the seitan, it should be possible even to do this with a knife that is subpar. I believe in everyone watching this video. We've been on a bunch of cooking adventures together, and I feel like I'm dealing with professionals here, so no advice for people who try to do this with metal sticks. Right, so this is a bunch of seitan. I'm putting the rest back into the broth so it can season more. I think this might be enough for one Döner, so we're keeping with that amount. Good time to look at our bread. Right, it has already become crisp on one side. For the second side, I'm going to apply some pressure and also turn down the heat somewhat, because we don't want it to burn. If there's some black spots on it, it's fine. It also tastes good actually, but it's not healthy, so we aim to get as little of that as is humanly possible. And right, as I said, crispy outside. The inside should not be fluffy anymore, it should be condensed down, and we should have a heated bread on both sides that takes up our sauce. 1/4 of a flatbread is what we use here. And if ready, then we let this cool down for a second while we prep the oil for the seitan. I'm using the last remaining stuff of my chili oil here. You don't have to use chili oil, I like chili oil. And the important part is the seitan needs to be spread out so that everything is in contact with the pan. And also we're frying this on one side only. That is to emulate really how the Döner shop does it, right? Because in the Döner shop they grill it on one side only, we fry it on one side only. And seitan gets very crisp because it's pure protein, right? So Maillard reaction goes brrr. You can decide on, I mean, I've had seitan that was too crisp actually. You can be a little bit careful to not over fry it. Especially if it gets dark, of course, but even before, I mean, with just heavy browning, it might actually destroy the texture. That is one of the reasons why we actually do it on one side only, because too heavy browning actually destroys the end product. Right. Our bread actually is not perfect quality. I can see that right now, because we have kind of trouble cutting it. But it's okay, it's okay. Mayo on both sides. I don't do crazy flavors here because we didn't do crazy flavors in the video. You probably know how to add crazy flavors to mayo, right? It's just get something that's flavored in a crazy way, make it fat soluble or water soluble, one of the two, and then you're done. As I said, on both sides, I like to do seitan at the bottom, and then the salad, and then a little seitan on top. So this is the way that we're doing this also. Let us see if this is already done. Well, could have had a little more oil, could have had a little more time, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna add this into the bread. It's amazing how much this looks like Döner meat, right? This is like the perfect replacement. Right, I said I wanted to do like 2 layers. Let's get a little more back in the pan. Salad on top. I had a paranoid moment where I thought I wasn't filming. That would have been bad because this is hard to do a second time. And as soon as the salad is in there, you get the seitan on top. And some mayo. Because without sauce, a sandwich is nothing. Right, fold it together. Hope that it doesn't fall apart in the meantime. You can kind of squish it a bit so that that works. Especially on the sides, things tend to fall out. And then, if you have it in a way that you can bite into it, then I can only say, enjoy. This is like the food of gods. I want to thank immigration for bringing this dish to Berlin. I want to thank Berlin for teaching me how to do this dish. One one of the best things that you can eat. Maybe the best sandwich in existence. Tied with banh mi, maybe. It's really fucking amazing. Thank you everyone for joining me on that journey. I hope that everything is easy to understand from the videos. As I said a bunch of times, if there are questions, just ask me in the comments, ask me over chat. I can explain every single part properly. In any case, I hope that you join at VG Cooking in the future. Maybe we're gonna distribute some Döner soon. Maybe you can distribute some Döner. People like Döner. See you in a little bit.